6:30. 5:30 is why it? Oh, this is different session. 5:30. Okay.
On behalf of SANEM, I welcome you to the Bay of Bengal Economic Dialogue 2021 on post-COVID challenges in the Bay of Bengal region, which is being held on 8 to 11 February 2021. And we already have the welcome session. Now we are having this inaugural session. And I sincerely hope that the Bay of Bengal Economic Dialogue will create an opportunity for sharing ideas and insights on how countries in this region confronted the COVID-19 crisis, and also on the need for the deeper regional integration among the countries of the region to tackle the post-COVID-19 challenges. So in this backdrop of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the need for regional economic integration and collaboration is more than ever. So in our effort to start this timely discussion, I'm just mentioning this to Honorable Minister and also to the Secretary General of BIMSTEC, because we already had the welcome session, but again, I'm repeating that we have partnered with the following organizations: ASEAN India Center, AIC, RIS of India; South Asia Watch on Trade Economics and Environment, SAWTI from Nepal; Indian Studies Center, ISC of Chulalongkorn University, Thailand; Pathfinder Foundation of Sri Lanka; and Center for Research on Bhutanese Society, CRBS from Bhutan. We're extremely delighted to have His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP, Honorable Foreign Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, as the chief guest of the inaugural session. We are equally delighted to have His Excellency Mr. Tenzin Lekfil, Secretary General of BIMSTEC, as the special guest. The other dignitaries in these sessions are Ambassador Chutintorn Sam Gongsakdi, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Thailand; Professor Sachin Chaturvedi, Director General, Research and Information System for Developing Countries, RIS India; Mr. Tirtha Raj Wagle, Joint Secretary and Head, Regional Organizations Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Government of Nepal; Dr. Kinle Dorji, Senior Agriculture and Development Economist, Bhutan; and we are actually expecting Ambassador Bernard Gunatilake, who was the chairman of Pathfinder organization, but he just a few minutes back, he reported that he had to actually urgently meet Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka on an urgent call, so he's unable to join. But we look forward to hearing from Ambassador Sumit Nakandala if he's still here with us as the ex-Secretary General of BIMSTEC and in place of him. So we'll start the inaugural session with remarks by the dignitaries, and then at the end, we'll hear from the special guest and the chief guest. With this, again, I welcome you all to this inaugural session, and I request Ambassador Chutintorn Sam Gongsakdi, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Multilateral Corporation, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Thailand, to say a few words.
Honorable Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Excellencies, colleagues, We now live in times of uncertainty and continued disruption. In January 2014, CEOs attending the World Economic Forum in Davos started to talk about disruptive innovation from emerging technologies and changing consumer behavior. Fast forward 6 years to January 2020, the IMF predicted that the world faced a US $12 trillion economic disruption as companies adjust to maintain sustainability and ensure inclusivity throughout society. Then in March 2020, COVID-19 became a global pandemic, accelerating the tsunami of disruption the world has not seen since the last World War. Recovery, even survival in this new normal era is absolutely conditional on two things: the success of pandemic control and the ability to adapt. Today, I would like to discuss with you what that means for the countries in the Bay of Bengal. Furthermore, how should we and our stakeholders adapt? Pre-pandemic challenges are the fourth industrial revolution, characterized by artificial intelligence replacing human input, high-tech production technology, digitalization of business management, and changes in consumer behavior. Post-pandemic challenges are evolving infectious disease control strategies, supply chain integrity, restricted cross-border flows of people and sometimes goods, and intensification of online activities. With this context in mind, Thailand sees the way forward, not only in BIMSTEC, but also in ASEAN and APEC through utilizing the bio-circular green economy model. What is BCG? B is for bioeconomy, the production of renewable biological resources and the conversion of these resources into high value-added products, which are also green and renewable. C is for circular economy, which focuses on reusing and recycling our resources. G is for green economy, which aims to keep all economic activities in balance with the environment, securing sustainable development. We have identified 4 areas of collective comparative advantage where the BCG economy model could be applied, namely food and agriculture, materials and energy, health and medicine, and tourism. Simultaneously, science and digital technology are cross-cutting tools to be applied to these sectors to reach a higher level of productivity with new product champions. In food and agriculture, we can promote smart farms and farmers producing higher value-added products, using less costly inputs in a more sustainable manner. In health and medicine, the future lies in the research and production of medical bioactive products, as well as using big data to improve the quality of life through the One Health approach. COVID-19 has also shown us the valuable role of telemedicine. Linking material science with biotechnology has great potential in a region rich in bioresources. The production of biofuel from industrial waste, production of biomaterials and biodegradable compounds, and harnessing energy from biomass are but a few examples. In tourism, smart cities, as well as creative products and services, can also be a key enabler of travel and tourism recovery. The post-COVID era is an opportune time to push for higher value sustainable tourism, balancing the preservation of our environment with protecting the livelihood of stakeholders that depend on it. Thailand sincerely believes that the biocircular and green economy, or BCG economy model, could provide smart, multifaceted solutions to community efforts, not only to rebuild our livelihoods post-COVID-19, but to build back better and smarter. Nevertheless, we will still keep our efforts firmly focused on long-term goals that BIMSTEC member states have worked on together for so long. First, we will continue to support the important work towards the BIMSTEC FTA in order to realize the economic potential of our regional market and investment destination of more than 1.5 billion people. Second, as a lead country on the connectivity pillar of BIMSTEC cooperation, we will work to translate the BIMSTEC master plan on transport connectivity into greater connections on both land and sea. As tourism business travel is important for all BIMSTEC member states, we will also work hard for revival of post-COVID-19 with sustainability as a key word. Thailand is ready to follow in the capable footsteps of Sri Lanka later this year in inheriting the BIMSTEC chairmanship and work constructively with all stakeholders to empower our people so that they can have a safe, prosperous, and resilient future. This we will do through imparting the BCG economy model into our work, wherever and whenever it is relevant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Gongsagdi, for your excellent deliberation and also setting the kind of context from the perspective from Thailand. With this, now I move to Mr. Tirtharaj Wagle, Joint Secretary and Head, Regional Organization Division, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Government of Nepal. Over to you, Mr. Wagle.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Guest of the inaugural session, Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, His Excellency the Secretary General of BIMSTEC, Executive Director of SANEM, distinguished participants. It is indeed my great honor and pleasure to attend today's inaugural session of the Bay of Bengal Economic Forum 2021. I thank the organizers, including SANEM, Saudi, and other South Asian organizations for hosting this program and giving me this opportunity. The theme of the forum, post-COVID-19 challenges in the Bay of Bengal region, no doubt is timely and relevant. I believe today's deliberations to be followed for 3 days by discussions and sharing of expert views, experiences, and innovative ideas during the sector-specific sessions will be instrumental in suggesting better ways to fight the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. Excellencies, we all stand at the crossroad of post-COVID pandemic. The pandemic has posed an unprecedented circumstance to the entire globe. Our region is not an exception. It has not only impacted the health and well-being of our people, but also the livelihoods, economies, and all aspects of development in the region. The pandemic has exposed the vulnerabilities of our economies, including the weaknesses and resilient capacities of the major economic sectors. The hard-earned development gains, including the achievement of the SDGs, have been severely impacted due to the pandemic. The development and distribution of the COVID-19 vaccines has helped raise people's confidence to fighting the pandemic and resume individual and business activities. In this context, we would like to thank our friendly countries for providing support and cooperation. Am I audible?
Yes, sorry for the interruption. Please go ahead.
Providing support and cooperation in our efforts to fight the pandemic, including the government of India for its support through supply of COVID-19 vaccines as a donation to Nepal and other countries. Excellencies, given its unique feature and strong knots of interlinkages and interdependence among the member states, the BIMSTEC presents great potentials for deepening and widening cooperation for the development and prosperity in the region. Our collective fight against the challenges in the region, including COVID-19 pandemic, underscores concerted actions by the member states in the priority areas of cooperation under the BIMSTEC framework. Cooperation between the government and private sector has been a priority of the BIMSTEC. As directed by the 4th BIMSTEC summit held in Kathmandu in 2018, we reiterate the need to revitalize the activities of BIMSTEC Business Forum and BIMSTEC Economic Forum to further strengthen government-private sector cooperation for the promotion of trade and investment. It is vital to strengthen public health sector and step up supply chain resiliency to confront the pandemic and restore economic growth. This calls for targeted actions on public health management, epidemiology, research, and training, and experience sharing among the member states. Active cooperation among concerned agencies, including in the area of traditional medicine, will help advance public health services in effective and result-oriented manner. Eradication of poverty is the greatest challenge of the region in realization of the development objectives, including achievement of the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development. Effective implementation of the BIMSTEC poverty plan of action and intensified efforts to all related sectors will be significant to achieve the overarching goal of poverty alleviation. Development of seamless multimodal linkages of all modes of transportation and connectivity and ensuring smooth, simplified, and unhindered transit facilities are essential to promote synergy among connectivity frameworks and economic integration for shared prosperity. The faster and adequate supply of vaccines and medical items is dependent on the smooth connectivity and transportation network. The success of immunization services relies on related logistical arrangements, including vaccine and cold chain management and immunization safety. Trade and investment are major contributing factors to foster socio-economic development in the region. Trade facilitation measures, including simplification of customs procedures and removal of the barriers to trade, are important to build up the supply chain in the region. Regional integration is a key enabler to substantial economic gains in the region. Overcoming the problems of impediments to the flow of trade in goods, services, people, and ideas is a must, especially at the difficult time of pandemic. The BIMSTEC region has high potentials of renewable and clean energy resources. We need to work together to provide uninterrupted and affordable power supply for the economic development and well-being of the peoples in the region, including through energy trade. Enhanced cooperation in the development, ensuring access and sharing of affordable technologies, including for SMEs, contribute to help promote sustainable development and support our efforts to fighting the common challenges. Agriculture is the backbone of economic development of food security. We emphasize on advancement of this sector, including preservation and promotion of knowledge about traditional farming in order to increase productivity and profitability of agricultural produce in sustainable manner and facilitate agricultural trade among member countries. We need to take concrete steps to promote intra-BIMSTEC tourism, enhance cultural exchanges, and promote people-to-people contacts among the member states in order to boost the economic activities and consolidate multidimensional ties between and among the member states. The region continues to bear negative effects of climate change and natural disasters. Collective efforts are essential to reverse the situation, including promoting mountain and blue economy to ensure conservation of mountain and marine ecosystems and their biodiversity. We underscore the necessity of providing meaningful cooperation to the least developed and landlocked developing countries in the region to support their development, taking into consideration of their special needs and circumstances. Excellencies, the government of Nepal has accorded topmost priority to protecting people's lives from the pandemic. We have initiated necessary policies and programs and provided required budgetary relief, incentives, and stimulus packages to counter the hardship faced by the affected people and sectors due to the COVID-19. Appropriate safety and health protocols have been executed, supported by adequate awareness programs. Nepal stands ready to continue working with the BIMSTEC member states and the private sector in advancing the regional cooperation process in mutually beneficial areas, including fighting the COVID-19, sharing of information, experience, technology, technical support, preventive measures, and capacity building will be highly contributive to this end. We can provide a fresh impetus to regional cooperation process and make the Bay of Bengal region peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable by building on our common strengths, collective resolve, and concerted actions. Finally, I wish the Bay of Bengal Economic Forum 2021 all success. I thank you all. Thank you, Excellencies.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tirtharaj Wagle. I think many of the words you've shared with us, actually, we also have the similar kind of experiences from the countries across this region. I think over the next 3 days, the kind of interaction we'll have through different sessions, I think we'll be able to address these issues and we'll share our ideas, share our experiences, and to come up with the better solutions for the kind of post-COVID challenges what we are now going through. Thank you so much again, Mr. Wagle. Now I move to Professor Sachin Chaturvedi, Director General, Research and Information System for Developing Countries, RIS of India. And RIS and the ASEAN Center, India Center is actually one of the partners of this initiative. Over to you, Professor Chaturvedi.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Salim Rehan, for this opportunity. I must congratulate SANEM and all our partner institutions and our team here in BIMSTEC for getting this organized, and must congratulate you for imagining and putting this exhaustive 3-day long agenda for Bay of Bengal economic dialogue as you have proposed. So thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. At the outset, I must greet His Excellency Dr. Abdul Momen, Honorable Foreign Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. I must also greet His Excellency Mr. Tenzin Lakfeld, the Secretary General of BIMSTEC, my very dear friend Ambassador Sam, for his very kind presence today, and an honor to share this dais with him. I really wish COVID-19 would be over soon and we would be able to meet in person, Excellency. Joint Secretary from Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Nepal, who just delivered very exhaustive statement, Mr. Regmi. Ambassador Bernard Gunatilke, Chairman of Pathfinder Foundation of Sri Lanka. We just had an opportunity of organizing dialogue with you. My dear friend from Bhutan, Dr. Kinle Dorji. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great opportunity for us to talk today when we are thinking of Bay of Bengal. We are thinking of it at a very challenging point in our history of economic, social and political development, when COVID-19 has adversely affected prospects for many countries, not only in terms of earnings and our social fabric, but it has also affected the consistent flow that economies in this region are doing. We have seen the latest economic outlook from IMF, which has predicted a 3.5% decline in income and job losses, inequality and insecurity. It has also shown how globally we are going to have a contraction of 4.9% in the economy. And largely this burden would be borne by small countries. It would be by economies which are at the periphery. And this burden is huge in terms of how we galvanize. And I think it would be important, and recalling the fact that Sanam and Bangladesh have been playing an important role, as Bangabandhu at some point suggested, the idea of developing countries coming together and addressing. I'm extremely delighted that Bangladesh has provided the leadership in terms of inclusive development that any society would envisage. But friends, at this point, it is also a time for us to do introspection in terms of the ideas which are important on development. We require a new narrative on development in terms of creating human capabilities. As Amartya Sen suggested, the human capabilities are required across our societies and across our community groupings. It means providing ability for distributing income, wealth, productive implements, healthcare, and also skill sets. It is important that the reverse migration that has happened across our South Asian region, the remittances that have declined in our economies, it is important that BIMSTEC countries come together and we start supporting the sustainable social networks that are needed in terms of providing the constructive competition that we need, and also bringing access, equity, and inclusion in our production, consumption, exchange, and in decision making. This process of development would require collective action. And collective action depends on how we resolve the challenges that idea of collective action addresses. If you look at this, the first order collective action problem comes in from the idea of free riding. Fortunately, in BIMSTEC, we have overcome the idea that Prime Minister Modi suggested in terms of collective effort in BIMSTEC. Countries have come together and we have addressed. So the first problem is over. But second order collective action problem is much more challenging. And this challenge emanates from the very idea of we bringing together what is called as coordination and also in terms of enforcement. How we bring in new institutions, functional economic and political institutions within BIMSTEC to make it a vibrant grouping. And we have seen this in ASEAN, we have seen this in EU, BIMSTEC, with a lot of thanks and appreciation to Secretariat. The member states would have to strengthen, and Ambassador Sam brings in profound knowledge in this platform to see how BIMSTEC can go closer on the track that ASEAN has laid out in the region. And this is important for us to see how we can create institutions in this region. Honorable Excellency, the Foreign Minister is here with us, and I'm extremely grateful to him for joining this very important dialogue, as the presidency would be with Sri Lanka. At RIS Excellency, we hosted the academic forum for BIMSTEC, and we discussed issues which are of great significance in terms of identifying the possibilities of bringing an approach which is encouraging for holistic nature of development. I'm very glad that colleagues from Nepal have emphasized on traditional knowledge and traditional medicine as part of our collective strategy. And that's, in my view, the collective good that we should strengthen, which is something not there with European groupings or Western groupings. The eastern part of the world is rich with biodiversity, as was very rightly mentioned in his address by the Joint Secretary, Mr. Ragmi, that we have a mountain economy and we have the blue economy. Bangladesh has provided regional leadership with blue economy, and that, Mr. Foreign Minister, is important for us to bring in greater strength as we are all sharing the Indian Ocean and the partnership in the Indo-Pacific. And that requires us to take it forward in terms of the digitalization, reducing the transaction costs, and also the domestic structural reforms that are needed. And that's where the groupings like IORA and ASEAN that supplement our efforts, Excellency, for a vibrant Bay of Bengal community. It is not just about resources in Bay of Bengal in water or in land. It is also about people of the Bay of Bengal and the surrounding areas. And this is the skill, the ability, the resilience, and the commitment to take humanity forward that we are all linked through the Sustainable Development Goals. With the rising ocean waters, our destinies and our shared experiences would enlighten us as we move forward and as UN Decade of Action takes us forward. So we are having several dimensions of our cooperation. We are having several issues that are to be addressed. And I'm so glad that the agenda that has evolved has addressed nuances of trade agreements. It has addressed the possibilities of MRS and also the idea of MSMEs within the region and their interlinkages to be strengthened. Before I close, I would very much like to mention the advantages of the pan-Asian and developing country across initiatives like the International Solar Alliance and the sort of efforts on coalition of disaster resilient infrastructure that we need. Yesterday's tragedy in Uttarakhand has made it clear what kind of resilient infrastructure we require. And I think it is important for us to see that the South Asia that is coping up with climate change and associated challenges comes up with a joint strategy as we move forward for resilient infrastructure and implementation of Sustainable Development Goals. Dr. Salim Rehan, it also requires us to address the role of new technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, the blockchain technologies, and also robotics and fintech-related architecture. India is going through a major revolution when it comes to fintech-based payment architecture. India and ASEAN have gone ahead to reduce transaction costs of remittances. Earlier, Excellency Honorable Foreign Minister, we were spending $11 for per dollar transaction. Now, with G20 efforts, it has come down to $7, and our idea is that it should come down to 2.50. This requires our collective efforts. We are also in the region to have G20 presidency very soon in our neighborhood in Indonesia, followed by in India. Our collective efforts can also strengthen our resolve to have a vibrant Bay of Bengal community to strengthen. And the efforts that Bangladesh has taken recently for infrastructure, for education, they are a roadmap for rest of South Asia. And I keenly look forward hearing the Honorable Minister in this regard. I would stop here and would like to congratulate once again Dr. Salim Rehan, to you and to all our colleagues for putting together this very exhaustive agenda for next 3 days. Thanks and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Professor Chaturvedi, for excellent deliberation, and especially you highlighted so many things for us to actually think about, and also when we talk about much deeper integration in this region. And I think I take home two specific points from you. One is that the need for political commitment, especially the kind of political commitment from the elites from this region and for political leaders, which is very essential to take this agenda forward. And you have already highlighted that there are actually political commitments. Probably we need to put these things together in a more efficient way. And second point, I think that when you talk about integration, it should be smarter integration. It should be integration based on more through advancing technologies. I think these are the new things which are coming up in the future. So thank you so much, Professor Chaturvedi, for sharing your ideas with us. So I now move to Dr. Kinle Dorji, Senior Agriculture and Development Economist from Bhutan. Dr. Dorji, over to you. Dr. Dorji?
Sorry. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you well.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this kind invitation to join in during this inaugural session. It's a particular honor. I would like to thank the organizers and, of course, the chief guest, Dr. Momen, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, the special guest, Mr. Tenzing Lerkel, who's a countryman, and also Ambassador Tundan from the Royal Thai Government, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as all the other distinguished speakers. Thank you very much. It's an honor to witness the discussions on a very rich agenda that has been set up for this particular dialogue. And I note that the focus is more on trade and regional value chains. And this is where definitely the value chain approach would be very beneficial for regional cooperation. And I've noted that during the BIMSTEC summit in 2018, at the end of August in Kathmandu, there was a decision to really focus on cooperation in agriculture and allied sectors, including crops, livestock, and horticulture. And in that respect, I would just like to make a small submission for the consideration of this dialogue, which is something that I have been discussing with my counterparts who are also agricultural and development economics in Nepal, as well as in India, during my time with the Food and Agricultural Organization, where in Bangkok, I served as the regional food systems economist for 2 years in from 2007 to 2009. I think there's a particular scope for, at that stage, we were looking at Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, but I think it also makes much more sense to apply it to the Bay of Bengal countries. And I'm very happy to share this idea, which is to have a potato program, because the potato is a very, very important crop for sustainability and also for meeting the calorie requirements, especially in times of pandemics. So what I'm proposing basically is to have a potato program that would enable the comparative advantages of the different countries in the Bay of Bengal area to focus on right from seed production to the consumption and the processing and the technology generation, and also to benefit from the cooperation with the developed countries who basically have a lot of the intellectual property rights on the seed materials. But I think if we were to follow this approach, as you know, the potatoes are mostly consumed and produced and consumed mainly by China and India, if you look at it in global terms. But potatoes are such an important commodity in the modern fast food industry as well. And also it can serve as a basis for fortification and distribution to schools. So from a food and nutrition security perspective, it can provide a very good vehicle for fortification and attacking a lot of the hidden hunger diseases, which are all the deficiencies in the multivitamins and minerals. So I think this would be one area which would be worthwhile for BIMSTEC and the Bay of Bengal countries to really look at. So I'm restricting, of course, my comments to my area, which is in agriculture. And since potatoes are known to be the most calorie efficient per unit land of area, and of course in both South and Southeast Asia, land is becoming increasingly scarce. And more importantly, compared to rice and others, it's a much more water efficient crop. So we can see that looking ahead, where we will be constrained by water and land issues and climate change matters, it would be good for the Bay of Bengal initiative to really look at a cooperative program on potatoes, where again, through regional cooperation, we can also produce regional public goods, because if you do, the individual small countries like Bhutan and Nepal cannot really generate the needed technology, but collectively, I think we can produce the regional public goods, which would have a greater impact, as outlined in that summit declaration, in terms of poverty alleviation, in terms of employment, and as Ambassador Don pointed out, it would, I think, meet his suggestion of the BCG, bioagriculture, circular economy, and also a green economy. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to the resolutions and conclusions and recommendations from this very interesting dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dorje. Thank you so much for your very insightful words, and especially how we can have cooperation in this particular region. And you highlighted one particular product, but there are many products where, and also there are many areas where we can extend our cooperation. Thank you so much. We are supposed to actually have Ambassador Bernard Gunatilake, Chairman Pathfinder Foundation, but as I mentioned earlier, he got engaged with a sudden meeting with the Honorable Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. So in place of him, I'm requesting Ambassador Sumit Nakandala he's the Distinguished Fellow of Pathfinder Foundation, and also he was the Secretary General of BIMSTEC. So Ambassador Nakandala, we look forward to hearing a few words from you.
Yes. Salim, can you see me?
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Okay. I think video is off. Sorry, I think you can hear me. I will speak without the video because I really do not know. Right.
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. Thank you, Salim. Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister, Secretary General, greetings from Sri Lanka. I am just standing for my chairman, Ambassador Bernard Gunatilake, Chairman of Pathfinder Foundation, because he was suddenly asked for a consultation in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So he is unable to be present at the moment, and he sends his regrets. Pathfinder Foundation is very pleased to be partnering with the rest of the organizations here, including SANEM and other sister organizations for the Bay of Bengal Economic Dialogue. As I indicated during the inaugural, the welcome session, the idea of having Bay of Bengal Economic Forum or Dialogue, whatever nomenclature that you may use, was a important decision that we have taken during the second meeting of the BNPTT, which was held in Bangkok in 2015, if I may recall, because we really wanted to increase the participation of institutions, academic institutions, research institutions, and to promote people-to-people contact, and to understand what kind of integration process is suitable for the Bay of Bengal region. In fact, the Bay of Bengal region was at one point of time in the history one of the most important and most active region in the world economy. It had a lot of exchanges. The trade has taken place across the Bay of Bengal, and the civilization processes have begun and ended across the Bay of Bengal. So, as a number of previous speakers said, there is a important paradigm across the Bay of Bengal, and that is what we should capitalize for the betterment of the mankind living in and around the Bay of Bengal. I was very happy to hear what my old good friend Sachin has very eloquently put the importance of the Bay of Bengal, and we all know that importance is there. But how do we come together and collectively achieve these targets? And I hear very detailed submission made by the Joint Secretary from Nepal. Yes, of course, there is immense potential. Yes, across the Bay of Bengal. But how do we deepen regional cooperation. That's the most important thing. How practically you do this. And we have been trying for last 20 years to conclude BIMSTEC FTA. We are not being able to achieve that. I remember that I participated in the 20th TNC meeting in Bangkok. The talks collapsed. So there should be some way out. If the BIMSTEC FTA is not possible, what is possible? There had been a couple of suggestions coming out. Economic integration or policy integration? Economic integration versus policy integration. Is it possible? What is possible is the most important thing that we need to undertake. In fact, Thailand will be taking over BIMSTEC chair very soon after the 5th summit, and we are looking forward to work with the Thai chair. Thailand has consistently maintained their deeper commitment towards the progression of BIMSTEC as a regional organization. In fact, the experience that we have gained for such last so many years as an organization is important for our forward-looking mandate. I recall that during the 4th BIMSTEC summit, the leaders have called for greater involvement of organizations, research institutes, public platforms, and forums like this in order to advise and provide necessary advocacy in promoting regional cooperation and then finally integration. So Pathfinder Foundation will be looking forward to partnering with the SANEM and rest of the organizations, and we are also looking forward to work closely with BIMSTEC Secretariat. And I have spoken to the Secretary General even before he took over the position, and there is no point now today to congratulate him. I have already done. And Mr. Secretary General, we are very open. We are looking forward to work with you. Pathfinder is ready to help and assist whatever endeavors that Secretariat will be taking forward to strengthen the regional cooperation and integration. I hope and trust that now next 3 days deliberations within the first Bay of Bengal Economic Dialogue will be of immense assistance to the Secretariat as well as member countries for making the Bay of Bengal economic integration process a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador Nakandala. I think you highlighted some of the very practical challenges or issues when it comes to integration among the BIMSTEC countries. I think this is something what we'll also be discussing over the next 3 days or so. Thank you. Now it is my time to actually invite our special guest, His Excellency Mr. Tenzin Lekfel, Secretary General of BIMSTEC, to deliver his address.
Thank you, Dr. Salim. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. His Excellency, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, Honorable Foreign Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Chief Guest of today's inaugural session, Ambassador Gonsadi, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Thailand, Mr. Tirtharaj Wagle, Joint Secretary, Regional Organization Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Nepal, Dr. Salim Rehan, Executive Director, SANEM, Bangladesh, Dr. Kinli Dorji, Senior Agriculture and Development Economist, Bhutan, Professor Sachin Chaturvedi, Director General, RIS, India, Ambassador Sumit Nakandala, Distinguished Fellow, Pathfinder Foundation, Sri Lanka, distinguished think tank members, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor and a great privilege for me to address this august gathering of renowned policymakers, economists, academicians, development experts, and think tank members of our region. Your presence here today is a testament to the need of enhanced regional economic integration. The COVID-19 pandemic and the challenges it brought along has made this even more crucial. The Bay of Bengal Economic Dialogue 2021 on post-COVID-19 challenges in the Bay of Bengal region is therefore timely to exchange ideas and learn from each other on how best we can further mutual growth and progress in the region. I would like to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to the organizers for inviting me to the inaugural session and present a brief perspective of the BIMSTEC Secretariat. BIMSTEC, the organization I represent, was established to strengthen economic and physical connectivity in the Bay of Bengal region through enhanced trade, investment, travel and exchange by leveraging geographical advantage and available resources. Though there are overlapping initiatives in the region, BIMSTEC is gaining prominence due to its unique location and its memberships of 5 South Asian countries and 2 Southeast Asian countries. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we all are very much aware of the unprecedented challenges that COVID-19 has brought about in the world, including BIMSTEC region. The BIMSTEC leaders, in their messages on the occasion of the 23rd BIMSTEC Day, which is 6th June 2020, stressed on the need for leveraging regional cooperation through BIMSTEC mechanism to combat the adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, the BIMSTEC Secretariat and the member states have stressed renewed focus to strengthen economic, physical, and people-to-people connectivity within the region. We have also prioritized our efforts to promote common actions to address vulnerabilities, including poverty, terrorism and transnational crimes, energy security, food security, natural disasters, and more importantly, public health. Today, I would like to mainly focus on 2 vital areas of BIMSTEC: trade and connectivity. BIMSTEC's economic development agenda saw a major breakthrough with the signing of framework agreement on BIMSTEC free trade area in 2004. It envisioned liberalization, promotion, and facilitation of trade in goods and services, investments, as well as broader economic cooperation. However, while efforts are being made by the member states, the overall BIMSTEC FTA is still under negotiation and yet to be finalized. But nonetheless, at present, first and foremost in our endeavor is to finalize the trade in goods agreement under the BIMSTEC FTA umbrella. And we are working towards getting this agreement finalized as soon as possible. We are optimistic that member states will come to a consensus and agree on trade facilitation measures, including simplification of customs procedures, introduction of electronic tracking system of cross-border container movement, acceptance of electronic copies of export-import related documents, and expand e-commerce. Regional trade facilitation measures, of course, will also need to be accompanied by an efficient transport connectivity to ensure easy movements of goods and people in the region. We should require more focus on the development of coastal shipping, waterways, and railways. Honorable delegates, much work is underway, and I'm happy to inform you that BIMSTEC member states have finalized the BIMSTEC Transport Connectivity Master Plan, and it hopefully will be adopted in the next ministerial meeting that is likely to take place this coming April 2021. Our member states are also on the verge of finalizing BIMSTEC Coastal Shipping Agreement, which will enhance our connectivity and economic cooperation. The early finalization of Trade in Goods Agreement, Coastal Shipping Agreement, and implementation of the Transport Connectivity Master Plan will definitely promote greater cooperation in the BIMSTEC region. It would be a game changer for the BIMSTEC region. To conclude, I would like to register my appreciation to Sanim of Bangladesh, RIS of India, Sauti of Nepal, ISWC of Thailand, Pathfinder Foundation of Sri Lanka, and CRBS in Bhutan for hosting this web conference and bringing together renowned scholars and think tank members of this region. My deep appreciation also goes to the distinguished panelists and participants who will be discussing over the next 2 days in exploring solutions to the post-COVID challenges for the Bay of Bengal region and coming up with innovative ideas to addressing these challenges. I'm certain that the outcomes of this economic dialogue will help our policymakers to take appropriate actions during the post-COVID-19 period. I wish the Bay of Bengal Economic Dialogue 2021 on post-COVID-19 challenges in the Bay of Bengal region much success. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Secretary General. And it was a wonderful speech from your end. And I think it will encourage all of us actually to work together in this region as well as the areas of cooperation have rightly highlighted. I think this is something what we need to achieve in the coming days. Thank you so much once again. Before I give the floor to our Honorable Foreign Minister, I'm just checking whether if anyone wants to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. We'll not give actually, we don't have much time, but just checking if anyone wants to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, I don't see any name. So our final speaker, and it's my pleasure to invite Honorable Foreign Minister, Government of People's Republic of Bangladesh, His Excellency Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, MP. So sir, over to you, please.
Thank you, Dr. Salim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The chair of the event, Bay of Bengal Economic Forum 2021, Secretary General of BIMSTEC, His Excellency Tanjin Lepkil, Executive Director of SANEM, Dr. Salim Rehan, distinguished discussants and participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. I'm very delighted to attend this opening ceremony of the Bay of Bengal Economic Forum 2021. I thank South Asian Network on Economic Modeling for organizing this important and relevant event, post-COVID challenges in the Bay of Bengal region, in collaboration with and participation of all stakeholders. I believe such forum will not only facilitate a constructive policy dialogue among our partners in the Bay of Bengal region, but also paved the way for stronger cooperation among the governments and other stakeholders through sharing of information and insights. I fully share the observations of Professor Sachin Chakrabarty of India on blue economy and Nepal's Dr. Bharat Kumar Rizmi's idea of promoting our traditional homegrown practices. I especially thank and enjoy Dr. Dorji's potato theory, more so as Bangladesh has surplus production of potatoes, and we would be happy to share it with others. Ambassador Nakal Dala of Pathfinder Foundation and BIMSTEC Secretary General Lepkel raised few challenges, and to overcome them, we need regular dialogue, and most important, strong political commitment. The littoral countries on the Bay of Bengal are connected in various ways through bilateral relations as well as through regional mechanisms. The region developed some very important regional forums and organizations like ASEAN, SAARC, and the BIMSTEC. Despite the existence of these vibrant forums, the Bay of Bengal region still have huge untapped and unexploited potentials for economic cooperation for the progress and prosperity of the people of this region. Some common members of ASEAN and SAARC have joined a new regional mechanism called BIMSTEC, the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, to which Bangladesh is a founding member. I shall focus my discussion mainly on Bangladesh perspectives of the BIMSTEC cooperation. BIMSTEC region covers 22% of the world population, having a combined gross domestic product of $3.5 trillion as per 2018 estimate. BIMSTEC provides strong platforms for cooperation in the fields of trade and investment, infrastructure and transport connectivity, agriculture and energy, culture and security, education and tourism, and people-to-people contact through implementing projects, programs of action, and activities by sharing member states' resources and best practices, creating synergy for the collective benefits and mutual progress and prosperity of the peoples of this region. Distinguished participants, the regional cooperation is one of the fundamental principles of foreign policy. As enshrined in the Constitution of Bangladesh, is celebrating the birth centenary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the charismatic and visionary leader who first dreamed of achieving economic and social progress of the people of this region to working with the neighbors. Regional cooperation is also a foreign policy priority of Bangladesh government today. It was during the first tenure of Bangabandhu's able daughter, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, as the Prime Minister, Bangladesh joined as a founding member of BIMSTEC Forum, born through Bangkok Declaration in 1997. Bangladesh had been since remained committed to regional cooperation through BIMSTEC movement, which emerged as one of the most important regional forums in Asia. Bangladesh has been contributing towards BIMSTEC process with continued and ever-increasing engagements. Since its inception in 1997, it has been working to advance the common visions and shared endeavors of the Bay of Bengal region. Hosting of the BIMSTEC Secretariat in Dhaka is the manifestation of Bangladesh's firm commitment to the BIMSTEC processes. As a leading country for trade, investment, and development under BIMSTEC process, Bangladesh is strongly committed to enhance trade and investment cooperation in the BIMSTEC region by enabling BIMSTEC free trade area. Bangladesh is pledged to collaborate with all BIMSTEC member states to create an enabling environment for facilitating trade, investment, and wide range of issues of mutual interest. A result-oriented, mutually beneficial partnership under BIMSTEC can usher in collective economic and social prosperity of our people. I strongly believe that in the face of the unprecedented challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the relevance and role of BIMSTEC as a regional group of 1.5 billion people is of utmost importance. With a view to addressing the critical social and economic impacts of COVID-19, the BIMSTEC can play an instrumental and pivotal role in establishing a strong partnership and solidarity among the BIMSTEC member states. A timely and effective response to COVID-19 can enable the BIMSTEC member states to limit the potentially devastating impact on its people and economies and find out suitable remedies for the pandemic already caused. Bangladesh can leverage its partnership in BIMSTEC forums in addressing multi-pronged challenges in the post-COVID era in a more effective and powerful manner. Various collective action programs and initiatives in relevant fields may bring utmost importance in the change scenarios. It is important to assess the changes and impacts and formulate national as well as collective strategies to face the challenges and seize the opportunities. A COVID-19 crisis has threefold impacts: short run, medium run, and long term. Solution must also be threefold: short-term solutions, medium-term solution, and of course, long-term solution. An emerging regional organization like BIMSTEC Forum is not certainly prepared to provide any redress to short-term crisis. As a matter of fact, the regional organizations are generally formed keeping in view the long-term and sustainable economic cooperation. As short-term solutions, we provided public health cares, food and medicine, and economic incentives to the people as domestic measures. In the medium-term approach, we are providing vaccinations as public health security measures and pursuing other economic measures. It is the long-term economic fallout of COVID-19 that requires long-term collective redress from the governments, from industries, academia, and civil society-based think tanks at domestic, regional, and global levels. While we at the government level doing everything possible to address the immediacy of the crisis and managing middle-term impacts, the civil society-based think tanks and scholars can provide their findings through their collaborative research work as long-term redress measures. Distinguished guests, to gain from BIMSTEC processes, the organization must produce results. The expected results will emerge from more trade and investment backed by transport connectivity in the region, leading to more employment generation for our people. It is now important to make all entities of BIMSTEC process fully functional and also operational. We need to expedite the implementation of BIMSTEC free trade area. Moreover, connectivity-related agreements need to be finalized soon. The sectors of cooperation in the fields of agriculture, energy, public health, technology, and ICT, etc., needs to be bolstered. Along with traditional security, more focus should be given on emerging non-traditional security threats like COVID-19. The possibilities of BIMSTEC cooperation in the fields of public health, like pandemic response, increased disease surveillance, improved public health interventions, and of course, food security, disaster management, and poverty alleviation in the post-COVID-19 period in the way of knowledge and expertise sharing, technology transfer, tourism cooperation, etc., should be exploited too. Last but not the least, finalizing BIMSTEC FTA and BIMSTEC Transport Connectivity Master Plan on transport connectivity will facilitate trade and investment in the region, resolving unemployment problem. I'm happy that the member states are working positively towards those goals. Bangladesh remains committed to BIMSTEC process. You are aware that the 5th BIMSTEC summit was scheduled to be held in September 2020. But due to the COVID pandemic, it was postponed to a later date. I'm hopeful that during the next BIMSTEC foreign ministerial meeting, which is expected to be held in April this year, the final dates and other modalities of the 5th BIMSTEC summit, which is scheduled to be held in Colombo, Sri Lanka, will be finalized. I firmly believe that next BIMSTEC summit will be able to revitalize BIMSTEC affairs with stronger political will and commitment from the leaders of BIMSTEC member states. Excellencies, participation, and ladies and gentlemen, at the inaugural ceremony of this important forum, I want to express my firm belief that if we, the BIMSTEC countries, continue to build the bridges and connect the dots under this platform, we'll be able to strengthen cooperation in all the 14 areas of cooperation of BIMSTEC. I truly believe that this two-day-long forum will facilitate a comprehensive series of deliberations on all relevant aspects and issues related to all the key areas of cooperation among BIMSTEC member states. I wish all the success of Bay of Bengal Economic Forum 2021. Thank you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu.
Thank you, Honorable Foreign Minister. I think it was a wonderful deliberation, and also you very strongly and very rightly emphasized the kind of strong commitment from Bangladesh on the success of the BIMSTEC.
I am truly committed.
Thank you so much. And I think this is so encouraging. And I think this is also encouraging for all other member countries, as well as the young researchers and the different stakeholders in this region would really like to see a very integrated and a strong region, a BIMSTEC region. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So we are actually have finished this inaugural session. And I must thank again Honorable Minister, Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen, for his time. I know how busy he is, but despite his extremely busy schedule, he has given us time, because he rightly emphasized the kind of importance of this kind of forum and the kind of dialogue, which aims to create the knowledge and generate the knowledge for taking this regional integration agenda forward. I'm also again thankful to Honorable Secretary General of BIMSTEC, Mr. Tenzin Lekfel, for your time, and you also showed kind of commitment from your secretariat to take this agenda forward. My sincere thanks goes to Ambassador Sam from Thailand, Professor Chaturbedi, Mr. Wagle, Dr. Dorji, and of course, Ambassador Sumit Makandala for their excellent deliberation. I'm thankful to all the participants of this inaugural session. I welcome you again. Tomorrow we'll have our session starting at 11 a.m. Bangladesh time. We'll start with our honorable economist, Bangladesh, Professor Rehman Soban. He will address the keynote speech, and then we'll have several sessions throughout the day. And then there'll be 2 more days with several other sessions. So with this, again, I thank you so much. And thank you, sir, and thank you all, everyone. I'd like to conclude this session now. Thank you.
We thank you all. Thank you.